3. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday afternoon call. And today is the 22nd, so it's our last Wednesday of February.
Wow.
Okay. And we'll be having a special guest today, talk about something we've never talked about before, but concerns everybody. So while she's talking, I'd like you to pay attention to what she's saying. And if there's anything that you can relate to, please chime in after she's through if we have time for questions and answers. But I'd like to know if this would pertain to anybody here also. So this has to do with the Spanish part of the program, and Rebekah Spears will be telling us about that now. Okay, welcome, Rebekah. Appreciate you being here.
I'm glad to be here. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm Rebekah Spears. I'm originally from the Philippines, and Philippines has been under the Spanish rule for 300 years, but we kept our language. But we have different words in Spanish, but we don't really speak Spanish. And for 15 years, we've been missionaries in South America, and that's where I learned to speak Spanish. It was hard for me because some of the Spanish people will, just like here in the United States, from the north, they will speak different, and Tom speak different, and from Canada, they will speak different, and I do. I still have that, so you're not from here, are you? So we have different ways of talking, and the same way with Hispanics. And where I learned to speak Spanish was in the north of Peru and up in the mountains. So when they say buenas noches, they will cut buena noche. And then so I came home and I said, I'd look at the dictionary and say, what's buena noche? And you can't find that in the dictionary because they cut off the S and the last part of the syllable. So you the more you listen and the more you understand them talking. And I want to put in that, I also enrolled in a Duolingo, even though I already speak, Spanish, just to try it. And it's really good. Okay, so if you want to learn Spanish little by little, then go for that. It's really beneficial to at least understand when those of you that's in Goya, at least you will understand a little bit. You will catch what they're saying. Okay, so I learned my Spanish in South America, and my husband always went with me to the market, and finally got tired of, him translating for me. So I said, okay, just write down everything that I need to learn. And I learned them. And I went to the market with those few sentences. And one thing that I want you guys to know is the Hispanic peoples are very gracious. They're not going to make fun of you if you pronounce the Spanish or you just, kind of button it up. They will be so gracious and will try to understand what you're trying to say. And they're very thankful that you're trying to speak their language, trying to communicate with them. So maybe if I say that so you won't be too afraid to speak the language, even though you pronounce it differently. So, okay, so now this is how I do it. I have a Portuguese student, and she literally cried when I said, okay, I don't speak Portuguese. I don't understand Portuguese. But if you're going to be, give me, also be gracious, with me, that I will try my very best. She said, Yes, and she's a very hardworking lady. And this is how I try it. So I'll share my screen. Okay, that's one. Can you see that? Let me see. Tell me if you see my screen.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And let me get out of this. Can I get this out?
Is she with us now
Okay.
on this call?
Ooh. Yes. She's just on another call right now. Show back a little bit.
Okay, so I
The
have,
student.
okay, I have a Mac. And most of my students, most of you will have a Windows. So finally gave in and got me parallels for my Mac. So now this is what you see is my parallel Windows. Okay, so I will be able to see what my students see, because when I'm doing a training, I'm telling them what to do, where to go, but then what they see and what I see are two different things. So finally, I got my windows. Okay, so if you are using a window, I don't know if it's the same, let me know. On the side, there's like the tool. Do you have that on your computer?
So it looks, it's almost the same, just ours, instead of being on the side, is on the bottom. Like
Okay.
our two are on the bottom.
Okay.
Well, we
that's-
can actually move the taskbar around
Oh,
too.
okay, so far. So it's possible to move it around, but for most extensive purposes, majority of people have on the bottom. I mean, yeah, we move around, but it's generally on the bottom.
Okay, so mine is on the side. Whatever's on top or bottom of the side is, okay, find your tools. See, and if I click that, okay, you will have the word clock and stuff like just, diminish them.
Right.
And just go for the translator.
So the translator, that's going to be in the tools. So let me.
Yes.
minimize
It will be in the
this
tools.
screen. So probably for us, if we do, because we'll have Windows 10 or 11, if we do a search for a translator, is that a translator Google?
And it's just included in the tools. I don't know how, it's just there for me. So I don't know, you guys.
No.
All right, so continue, and then I will look. I'll do a little bit of while you continue to talk, because it looks like it's so. While you continue to talk, and then I'll do a little bit of research to find out where is Windows 10.
Okay, so for me, maybe they automatically included it in my tools because the word clock, calculator, dictionary, and everything's there. And so I just closed out the other apps that's included in there and just go for translator. And then so right now I'm in Portuguese. So there's a drop down. You can, whoever, whatever language it is. So I have those three. If it's in Spanish, that's it. Okay. So let's just say somebody texted you and it said that you will, let's just say it said, you can switch this, okay, from the two languages that you're doing. Let's just say it says, no hablo inglés. Okay, so let's just say that's what the person said. And then so automatically it will say, I don't speak English. And then switch it again and say, and you can say, exit out and say, that is fine. And then just click this and paste it on the chat or the text.
Oh.
Okay, so that's all you do. And then if they respond back, you can do the switch it back and forth. Okay, that's what, that's what you can do. And So let's just say that you already said that is fine, SSWN, and then you can say, we have someone that speaks Spanish to call you back. And then, so there it is. Copy and paste it. Okay, so it's just really easy as long as you find your tools. Okay, so or the other way of doing that, if you don't have it in the tools, you can open this and that's Google Translate.
Yeah.
Oops. You can do that. Google Translate. Where are you? I'm using it on my, there it is. Okay, so you can do that too. Okay, so I'm gonna switch on my, where are you? There it is. Okay, this is my, I'm on my Mac now side. If you are able to, you open a window and then grab it out, to one side, and then you can do this. So while you're talking, or you can also put that on the side of your text app. So it's always ready. So you're not always switching from one window to another. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, so this, I've asked my husband to help me out on this. So this is something that you can put below your text, the first text that you send out on V-marketing. Okay, hay un hispano hablante. So you're already telling them right at the bat that we have someone to talk to them in Spanish. So when they text you back, they will speak to you now in Spanish. So have your translation ready. And then you can start sending this Spanish text 1 again to them, and then Spanish text 2. I can copy this if you want me to put it in the chat. There it is.
Thank you.
Okay. So text 2 right here. And then text 3 is right there. So at least that initial actions that we usually do for English speaking people, you already do. You've done it. And then this one, that's the English part. And then this is the Spanish part on the email. Okay, this is the, okay, I can copy it. This is the book. Did I copy it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will put it in here in chat. That's this, the Spanish book.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so the first one.
I just want to say thank you to Rebekah. That took a whole lot of time. She's translated so many things for us, and she'll let you know about it. But the resources that she has been working on are absolutely incredible. Thank you, Rebekah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh.
Welcome. Okay, I know there are in our, maybe our group or somebody else's group, someone, I'm pretty sure speaks better Spanish than I do, but
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That's why I said at the beginning about the people, paying attention to this, because if there's other people here now that can't speak Spanish, we can always use more people to help Rebecca out in doing
Sure.
this. Also want to say in reference to that translation, if you go to your Gmail, over on the right-hand side, there's those 9 buttons.
Oh, yeah. Google
You
Translate's
pick
there,
that,
right?
you click on that, and all the Google apps come up. One of the apps is Translate. So you can check that app, and you can then have it on your top of your screen all the time.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's also one thing that I'll cover this now. Okay, where are you? Okay, there it is. So this one, this is the one for the Spanish. Okay, so when they click this, let me
This
see.
is RRR247.com/RRR.
Nice.
Yes. So that's in Spanish. I'm slowly doing it because at first I've been helping them little by little by little by little, but then I said, okay, it's taking most of my time
Yeah.
giving them step by step, but then okay, if I use my time right now to do this, then the next batch, I don't have to hold their hand,
Right.
all the time. So it's
Mhm.
just like more of like what we do with the English speaking people. Okay, go to this, go to that, listen to this and listen to that and read that and read this.
Mhm.
So
Excellent.
So this one, okay, but I need your help, okay? I'm lacking with the response magic. I've watched Sheila's, and I think I'm looking into Rory's. What I need right now is, if you are good in your response magic, what I need is for someone to watch or look at a video, short one, because if you give them too many information, they will get confused. They will go back to you and ask you a lot of questions. And to save time for you and me and for them, if any one of you that's good in response magic, just a short one for a newbie that's never had response magic. Okay, from the very beginning, step 1, step 2, and what do they need to do? What do they need to, to pick or whatever, to the finish, just that, nothing else. And then so when we give it to them, then they know that. Then later on, we can add, they will understand more because they have foundation of the basic response magic. Because if we add too many information there, it's confusing. If it's confusing for me, trying to explain it to them, we're both confused.
Right.
So if any one of you can help me on that, that would be great. Okay, so this is the master in Spanish. So little by little, let me see if I can open this. Okay.
Wow, Rebecca, this is so amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, copy link. I will put it in here. Okay, so that is Maestro. So I'm still working on this. Okay, so this still in English, but I already put the link in there. And this one, okay, so this one one thing I did, let me see, on this. If I, let me see, go over there. Like, copy. Oh, I didn't do that. Okay, this one copy. Oh, open. Okay, so what I did, so of course, the picture's coming up. Okay, so they know that all the information is from Rory. And okay, copy right here. And I've used, okay, I'll let you listen for just, half a minute or something.
Construyendo la oferta ancla número 1, parte 1. Cuando vaya a publicar anuncios, asegúrese de terminar primero las páginas de anclaje.
So
Todas las cosas que comercializamos son
so they can
relevantes.
listen to
Se llaman
that,
anclas
what
por una
reading it.
razón. Atraen tráfico a
Cool.
nuestras páginas. Luego pueden ver las otras cosas que tenemos. Ya
Right
sea
there.
que compren o no, los traemos a nuestra casa de marketing para que puedan hacer clic. Cuanto más puedan hacer clic, más posibilidades tenemos de ganar dinero. Cuando obtenga la aprobación para Google AdSense, más posibilidades tendrá de ganar dinero. Google AdSense nos paga por las impresiones al mostrar los anuncios que
Okay.
alguien más ya pagó.
So,
Entonces,
Cool. Wow, that's great. That is amazing.
so little by little. And I was talking to Donna yesterday, chatting and see what my dream, right? Dream big. And so if we can get people on the first, because that's what we do with English speaking people, students, we send them. If we can send them to these links and, first training, and then we can start going into like one training, maybe a week for Hispanics. So that means it's not only me that's going to have Hispanic students, but you also. Okay, so our group can have Hispanics people, whatever language they speak, to have their own students. So if you can give them, help do the preliminary communication, so that would be good. And if you have any suggestion that will, that will make this better, then it would be awesome. And let me see what else. I've shown you that.
So what Rebecca's doing here, everybody, is trying to help us get prepared for the opening into Mexico and South America, so that we have a better chance of closing orders down there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's open. So if anybody knows Spanish and can work their way or feel their way around in Spanish, you guys can help Rebecca, and we can get this to the point where the English speaker instructors can use it as well. That's what she's trying to prepare us for, making it easy for us to adapt to it as well.
Yeah, so even if you're a beginner, you just started, I mean, your help would be invaluable. So don't be afraid. I mean, we all have something special to offer. And here's your opportunity to be one of the first ones to help Rebecca and help us move into those areas of Spanish speaking region.
And let me add to that. The best way to learn is that as soon as you learn, teach what you've learned. That's you'll learn more by doing it that way. That's one of the key things any good teacher will tell you, is that you learn it and then you teach what you've just learned, and then you learn it better.
One
Exactly.
thing that you can tell them to, like I've told this to my Portuguese student. And I told her right at the beginning, I said, I don't speak Portuguese. And all of our materials right now, training and everything is in English. But if you are really serious in learning how to earn income online, then I would help you. And so that's an opening. You already gained the trust that you really want to help. So you can really help if you want to. So, and what I did with my my Portuguese student is I use this a lot. Okay, so what I do, and so let's just say this is your let me see, assignment
There you go.
for tomorrow. Okay, so, and I do this.
Esta é a sua tarefa para amanhã.
So I just, then she listens to the other side. And then what she does is she's sharing her screen with me. And she's doing this Google Translate, and I see what she's saying. And then I put this back in here and answer back in English, and then she listens in Portuguese. So it's possible, but if the student's willing to work with you, even if you know speak Spanish and you just speak a little bit, if she's willing or he's willing to work with you, this is possible. And then little by little, we're doing the training and stuff like that. So it will be much easier, not from the very bottom.
And Rebecca's done with this Portuguese student, and she's gotten pretty far along. How many pages have you gotten through, Rebecca?
She's done with her wine, and she can create. She's still working on her pages because right now, you know, she's a mom. She has 3 kids, and she's studying English. So that's why her schedule is really tight. So, but she can do her page with both, you know, both grades. And
I think what you've done is amazing. Totally amazing.
so
Is she modifying her pages in English or Portuguese?
Portuguese.
All right,
She's
and
doing
so
it in
that's-
Portuguese.
So what she's doing, I told them how to do this. Let's just say, let's find.
So she'll be able to spread this and become an instructor and help Rebecca out building her team in Portuguese speaking countries. I mean, do you see the
Amazing.
potential in this, guys?
Yeah.
100%. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Unbelievable. This is awesome.
Truly amazing.
I
And
hate to
now,
interrupt, but I have a question. This
Yes.
is Cynthia, and I'm listening on the phone. I wish I was watching this right now at home, but I did a page in Spanish. Rebecca, do you have issues with the SEO area? You know, with because I was having a lot of issues with trying to get the page green, and it was issues with the SEO. I speak Spanish. I'm not that great.
Oh,
I understand it really good, but I'm not that good at some of my words that I say in Spanish. But when I speak to Spanish people, they understand what I'm trying to say. But like you say, they really don't make fun of your Spanish, but if I'm saying it correctly, they go, no, we understand what you're trying to say, but still, that's that. But anyway, my question was is working on the pages and doing them in Spanish with the SEO.
yes, I believe WordPress is getting more and more friendly with you doing, Spanish. And okay, let me do a little better though. Okay, here's again. visit site. Okay, so let me see. Let me go in dashboard and post.
One of the things to remember as well, when you're building your pages, make sure, which I know you've learned this, Rebecca, is you want to have all of your pages in one language until after you got in Google AdSense, correct?
Yeah, you have to do everything, and you know, in Spanish.
But it all has to be in the same language. Is that right?
Yes, it has to
Right,
be.
and
in the same
then and then after you get Google AdSense, then you can have kind of a little bit of both.
You can, I
Okay.
believe, but maybe, you know, right now I have 2 sites and I'm working on my Spanish. And so hopefully, you know, I can do both. Okay, so this is Alberto's, you know, and he supposedly have changed this. So I helped him do the, I did this a short tutorial, you know, what I trying to teach him. So I told him about this. Make sure it's also in Spanish. And then so far I had this SEO green. Okay, the image, of course, that's key phrase slug. Okay, so that's community. Okay, it's not in Spanish, so I will change that community. That. And then update. So far, I'm green for right now. I'm satisfied with that for right now. I can, you know, help him do that later. So more and more it's getting, you know, friendlier. Remember, Donna, I asked you about this, about the SEO in Spanish, because I cannot get it green, but lately it's been more friendly.
Yeah. And Rory was going to find out more about where they're going with that as well. But I haven't heard back on that part yet.
Okay, so far okay, so let me see. I will get this one. Let me see.
So since you have green and everything is in Spanish, then there shouldn't be any reason why people can't get green if they're writing in Spanish, right?
Yes.
Obviously.
Right. When Rebecca first started, though, it was darn near impossible. So I'm glad to hear they're easing up a little bit.
Yeah, they are. And so again,
They surprise us with every new version.
Yeah.
Okay, so did I do this? Okay, let me see. Visit site. Okay, so far this is good. Let me see. I know I did this. Okay. Okay, so far, see, I have the green. I did this. So, aplicación. Okay, so edit page. Just make sure that your, come on, turn green. There it is. Just make sure that your focus phrase, all the little things sometimes that makes it red. Okay, go down. Oh, okay, it's still exit. Okay, there it is. Right there. It has to be, everything has to be in Spanish. Okay, so you can make it green.
Okay.
Looks good.
Now, I'm understanding, so you have to have, I'm sorry to interrupt. You have to have you have to have 2 sites in order to do, like you have to do a site in Spanish and a site in English if you want to do both?
Well, maybe what you can do is start with one language. Then after you have your Google AdSense,
Right.
then let's just say you have this in English, okay? And then you can do a link to Spanish, and then they can click that, or English, back to English. You can back and forth. You can add all the pages on your.
Okay.
Like in your category, you have the
Yes.
main words and all things, and then you can have Spanish version.
Yes, you can do that. You can add all of your pages after Google AdSense, I believe. You
Yeah,
can
no,
add.
I'm
do that.
pretty sure that's right, because I think I remember, I think it was you, Rebecca, about a year ago when Roy was talking to you and you're saying you're having a real hard time getting Google AdSense, and then you actually had both languages on your site, right? And then when you changed it, you got Google AdSense. Is that not right?
I don't have Google AdSense
Oh,
yet,
yeah, okay.
and I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I said, I'm gonna do it, last year, this year, and then suddenly I get, sidetracked, and I spend more time with my students than doing my
Yeah.
work. So,
Yeah,
but
it's
that is
difficult.
fine. That is fine. So,
Yeah, I do remember Roy mentioning that you want to make sure you have all in only one language before when you're applying for Google AdSense.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one language first. Okay.
And the other language, Rebecca's student load has picked up tremendously in the last few months. So I would encourage anybody who has the time to start playing with this and getting comfortable with that translator, because especially you guys that are younger, that have 20 more years left,
Amen.
that alone can make a world of difference in your business. And when you get used to that translator, you could do any language, and just think of the possibilities.
For sure. And on that note as well, just know then that this is why we're on you all the time to do what you can to get your pages modified. So let that be your number one priority. Get all of that done out of the way, and then as you get students, because once you get more students, you're not going to have the same time that you had before. So that's why you want to get your page modified as soon as possible.
And don't forget to back it up on your My Drive. I
Oh,
saw Rebecca when
please.
you were looking that you did have it up there in Spanish, the different folders, which is great. And your Portuguese person, I know who's that was you were looking at, but they should have it up there both. That way they're doing it twice, so it's the information is going to stick with them, right?
Yes. And
then when the backups can be distributed to anybody else who needs them too.
Oh, nice.
yes. And I'd like to show you this. And I've done, I think this is when it is. I played with this one.
Hello and welcome. My name is Roy Rickard, and the creator of performance blogging and the performance blogging system. I want to welcome you to your
Yeah, we can see it.
Good.
And we're going to literally walk through getting started and completing your entire PBS in this series. Now you are working with an instructor, and your instructor is going to be guiding you through 4 sessions of understanding. And I'm literally
Nice.
Okay,
That's
so
great. That's great.
what I did with this, just kind of experimenting, it takes a lot more time on this because I have to do it in Spanish right here and then do it in Portuguese down here. But I was thinking that at least the very first video, they will hear Rory speaking. So at least you know how it is when you hear somebody.
Yeah.
That's him. That's his voice. And then I went into just doing a different one. in like an AI voice because it's easier than doing this, because word for word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
A
a
lot
lot
of
of
work.
work.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Wow.
So far that's, okay, that's it. And then let me see my drive. Okay, that's building anchor, open today. So I think I've had you listen to that. And then, so what I did also is this one, set for translation. So if I did the script,
Oh, yeah.
and if I want to do this in another language, then all I need is put it in another language.
Hmm.
So what I did first time, and my mistake was translate it straight to Spanish. And then I lost the English part. I said, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So now if I need it in another language, I have to do it all over again. So if you guys are doing it, starting to do it, make sure you save your English first.
They do back up.
Then you can put it in any language that you want. So that's one thing. Get back to my drive. And so this is the Spanish that I did a long time ago for the wine ambassador.
Hola, soy Rebecca. Voy a hacer esta presentación de Record en español. Él es el CEO de Wine Ambassador.
Okay.
Foto.
Okay, so that's this wine ambassador presentation that I did a while back.
Huh.
So, and I think that's, and one suggestion, if you're gonna have Hispanic students or other language that speak other languages, when you do a tutorial, don't make it a 30-minute tutorial on one topic. That's way too long. If you
Yeah.
can do a 1, 2, 3, done, because they will do it over and over, like I did a short tutorial for my Hispanic student, and he had to listen to it and watch it over and over and over until it clicks. So if you have a 30-minute, it's not gonna click because it's way too long. So cut the pie in 8 parts or whatever.
So you're saying make your own videos
If
and
this
just
is,
condense what we have.
yes.
Oh, what's there. Mhm.
Yes. And if you have, you can also help me if you have like tutorials in one topic, just do a short one. And then, then share it with me, and I will try to do something in Spanish. Just make it short. Yes, please don't forget, I need response magic, just to the point.
I put a link in there earlier in the chat. I don't think you saw it yet. It was a video done by Sheila on response magic. See if that'll help you out.
Yes, I'm doing that, but like I'm going through so many steps with her. It's good for someone that's already have an idea what they're doing. But then with someone, because I think she started, it's a good video, it's a good training, really, really good. But then for someone that doesn't speak the language and doesn't know computer much, it's too confusing for them. And I think Sheila also showed what she did extra coding or codes for her grandson.
Yeah, I don't know which this one is, but I thought you wanted something on response magic that you could
Yes.
just extrapolate and put it into a shorter video like you were just talking about.
Yes, so I'm still going through that, weeding through it and stuff too, because I want something from the link, response magic, and then the next one. So I'm just trying to put things together like a puzzle.
So when
Yeah,
we're
step one.
putting together presentations, if we can keep in mind, the more you can get to a outline type of a presentation, yeah, that is short and sweet, that's easier to translate. It'd be
Yes.
easier
Thank
for
you.
Rebecca to share.
Yeah, step by step.
Yeah,
That's much easier. Instead of me going through it, weeding through it, and picking out which one I should take and which one I put together. See, that takes a lot more time,
For sure.
because if it's an hour-long tutorial or training, I have to listen through it 1 hour to go through it, and then pick what I needed. That's more than 2 hours. And then to translate again, that's more than 2 hours. So, Okay.
Yeah, it takes a long time. That's where Sundays come in handy. If you
oh,
have,
I'm busy on Sunday, so I can't do that.
that's the only time I have to, that's when I do my pages and stuff on Sundays. That way it's just devoted to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
So anything else?
So
think
while you're there, you can go to those 9 dots on the top right and just show them where you can get the translate right on the bottom
Go
left
down a
side
little
right
bit.
there.
Okay.
Oh, you passed
yes.
it. You passed it.
If,
Go up a little bit.
right
Right
there.
there on the left.
Right
There
there.
you go.
That's
Yep.
the Google Translate.
Yes.
You can do that, or if you can find your tools. I mean, there's
Yeah.
different ways. So for me, this is it.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
don't have that one. Now, there is a program in the Microsoft Store called Translatium, which I think is what that is. But for some
Okay.
reason I can't download it. But yeah, I believe that's what you have is a Translatium.
Okay, because this is a parallels to my Mac computer.
Yeah. So like if we go to the Microsoft Store and then do a search for a translator, there's a couple that'll come up that you can download from there, or we can use the Google Translate. Either one will work.
Google Translate has gotten better. Okay, I used them at least a few years ago, and I had to really look at it and see how it's translated, and I have to change how I how I speak it. So one thing, suggestion is make it simple. If you know how it is, like when we do our pages, it will kind of trigger it if your sentences are too long.
Right.
It's the same thing with this. Don't make your sentences too long. So if there's like one sentence straight to the point, then do that. And then it's easier to translate and not, because English to Spanish or to another language, it doesn't come out the same.
It's definitely very hard, and I commend you on your efforts there. A lot of people don't realize, however, and this is just being nitpicky, and you can't do everything, and you don't want to anyway. There's no time for that. But as far as Spanish goes, there's about 5 different dialects of Spanish, depending on who you go. I mean, Spain is one, South America is another, and Brazil is another, and Venezuela is another, but sometimes the Spanish even gets mixed up with those people. But I don't know. I imagine it would be good for our New Mexico and Mexico people, right?
Yes, I mean, if you don't, let's just say you said something they didn't understand, they will tell you. I said, I don't get that, or no entiendo,
Hmm.
you know, and then you can explain it another way.
Yeah.
So that's why with my Portuguese, we have to go back and forth. Just one step that I had to teach her, it will take us almost 2 hours.
Hmm. Italian
So-
is the same way. I mean, there's a lot of different dialects in Italian too. I mean,
Mm.
believe it or not, I'm Italian. My parents spoke Italian. I went to high school and took Italian and I failed. And my cousin was the teacher. Go
Ah.
figure. So, yeah. So that it's not just like saying Spanish, translate to Spanish, translate to Italian, translate to something, but, you know, because there are, you know, dialects to it. But this is a great template, what you're doing, which is superb. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. So is there any questions or suggestion for me?
Deb has a
Looks like
question.
Deborah has the question.
Okay.
Yes, hi Rebecca and everyone. Just had a question. When you're doing the pages, when you're putting them in the other language, can they be exact or they have to be a very, like if we do a different site? Like, can you do exact in the other language?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
Like say I want to, if I do a version of my site in another
Oh,
language,
okay.
can the pages be exact word for word, or do you have to make a variation?
I think do a little bit of variation in it, because what happens is, let's just say I translate it into Spanish, and then you know how it is, Google will have like an automatic translate.
Right.
Okay, so it will be so similar, you know, it might trigger it.
Oh,
So
Okay.
just change it a little bit to make it a little bit different. So see if that will pass.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Great
trying
question,
to convince
Deborah.
my daughter-in-law is Spanish, and I'm trying to get her to do a
Oh,
PBS.
awesome.
It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah, that would, that's.
Because I told her she has a great opportunity if she did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like Rory has all his different sites, though. He's got to change, even though it's his own words and he's the originator, he has to change what he's saying so that Google doesn't think, and they've done that, thinks he's plagiarizing his own work. So
Right.
you always want to change if you're making multiple pages.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I was just curious as because it's in a different language.
Because
Great
anyway, a lot
question.
of languages, you know, don't real correspond directly anyway. They
Right.
change in translation.
That's
So,
why that's why I asked.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's seeing some of this words are and phrases are seen differently. Okay.
Excellent question.
I was wondering the same thing, but you beat me to it, Deb.
Do we have anybody else here that speaks Spanish that might be interested in helping out with this project?
I'm going to try to get my daughter-in-law to help me though.
That's great.
Yeah, she can translate things for me. That would be great. And I can spread the news.
Yeah.
So
And
I did get a little more information on the translator. So if you have Windows 11, the translator is included in Windows 11. But if you have Windows 10, then you need to install it from the Microsoft Store or use Google Translate.
Okay.
awesome.
And
Dylan-
so Sheila James had actually mentioned that you're using the Windows 11 in your parallel, and so that's where I thought, I wonder if it's because of Windows 11, and so that's what it is.
Yes, yes, I
perfect.
have
Yep.
Windows 11, yes. Okay, So I can stop sharing here.
Yes.
Okay, so is there any other question?
Angelica?
Angelica, yeah.
Actually, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that I do speak Spanish also.
Awesome,
Great.
very good.
I mean, not
Wonderful.
fluently, but I speak Spanish.
I'm
Awesome.
the same way. I can converse. I can make them understand what I'm saying, but see, my husband is a Spanish and English teacher.
Oh.
So he's, I will translate something and I will pass by, by him and said, and he will say it in a different way. I said, oh my goodness. He can say it much, much better. But as I said, Hispanic people, they're very gracious. They understand what you're saying. And they appreciate you trying to speak and communicate.
Very good. Well, this was excellent learning. No issue with not having enough time or whatever. So this is perfect. Thank you very much, Rebecca. I know we've all got a lot of knowledge here and assistance, and also seeing how much work you put into it and how much more work there is. So we really appreciate everything you've done here, Rebecca.
You're
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You're a unique person and we appreciate your talents and perseverance of doing this, because we know just doing it in English takes a lot of time modifying our pages. But trying to do your own page, modify in English, help somebody else in Portuguese, help somebody else in Spanish. OMG. That takes a
There's a
lot
lot.
of, that takes a lot. And we appreciate everybody coming here today. And next week, we'll please come back next week, same time, same channel, and we'll be going over credit information, how to look at it and what to do to help yourselves out. So this would be good for anybody that you have people for IBOs and programs like that. So don't forget to come back. And again, always send in questions. We're still waiting for more questions from everybody. Tell everybody else we have averaging 24 people out of over 300 people. So, we want to get a lot more people in, but we know who's conscientious and who wants to move forward. Everybody that's here, kudos to you and welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You're
Live-
welcome.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I was worried about the 1 hour and now we got it.
Yeah, we
There
see
you
you
go.
didn't have a problem. We thought about that, but you know what? After getting into it, you didn't have a problem reaching the full hour. So that was really great. We really appreciate it.